Just a couple of things to address before I go over with you the last assignment. It's from last Thursday. And if you've already gone over it, that's perfectly fine. But the first reminder that I want to give you is make sure on this long division that you are showing all your work. That includes the multiplication, and it needs to be on the photographs. If you record your remainder as a decimal, that tells me you've used a calculator because I haven't taught you how to do that, and that is how decimal remainders show up. So that's not okay. You need to be getting practice doing this on paper and thinking through whether the answers make sense. With that in mind now, when one divides 18,523 by 4, you start out here and you say 4 times what comes close to 18. That would be 4 times 4. The answer is 16. 4 times 4 is 16. Subtract 8, take away 6 is a 2. Bring down the 5. 4 times what comes close to 25? That would be a 6. 4 times 6 is 24. I subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. Bring down the 2. Why am I not subtracting 2 take away 2? Well, it's not that I'm not looking at it, but I don't have to write it because 2 take away 2 is nothing. 12 divided by 4, that would be a 3. That goes right above where I brought down the 2. 3 times 4 is 12. Subtract. Now I have 0, so I just bring down the 3. Nothing times 4 equals 3 without going over, so then I end up with a remainder of 3, as matches one of these answer choices here, although you weren't given answer choices to choose from when you did this assignment. Number 2, 25 into 7,923. 25s are nice if you remember money. 1/4 is 25 cents. 2 times 25 gives you 50. 3 times 25 is 75. 4 times 25 is 100. So nice and easy number to work with, even though it's 2-digit. It is still also good to do the multiplication off to the side. So 25 times what comes close to 79? Well, I already mentioned that 25 times 3, 5, carry the 1. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. So 3 times 25 is 75. That's less than 79. 9 minus 5 is 4. Bring down the 2. I already mentioned, but I will prove again with multiplication because I'm doing what I'm asking you to do, which is show me your work on the paper. 5 times 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 5. That would be larger than 42. I can't use 25 times 2. I must use 25 times 1, which is 25. 2 take away 5. Can't do it. Have to borrow. Several of you had troubles with your long division answers, not because you weren't dividing and multiplying correctly, but because you were forgetting to borrow. 12 take away 5 is 7. 3 take away 2 is 1. I now bring down the 3, and my last number to deal with is 173 divided by 25. I know that 25 times 4 is 100. 25 times 5 should be 125. 25 times 6 should be 150. 25 times 7 should be 175. Let me just double check. 25 times 7. 7 times 5 is 35. Carry the 3. 2 times 7 is 14. Plus 3 is 17, which is too large. So I must back it off to 25 times 6. I said that should be 150. 5 times 6 is 0. Carry the 3. 2 times 6 is 12. Plus 3 is indeed 15. So 6 times 25 is the only way to not go over 173. I can't use 7 times 25. That would be too large. Now I subtract. 3 minus nothing is 3. 7 minus 5 is 2. Nothing left to bring down. So that is a remainder. Double check though, is the remainder smaller than the divisor? It is. So this answer works, and in this case I also know it matches one of the choices. The last one here should come out to be 63 with a remainder of 38. Let's see if it does. So 5 isn't larger than 82. 52 is still smaller than 82. I need to go all the way over to 520. I'll only have a 2-digit answer here, which matches what I already looked at. Now I can use this as a shortcut, and I'm going to make this video a little shorter. So this says 6 should be in the tens place here in my quotient, which means 82 times 6 is going to be the closest I can get to 520 without going over. 6 times 2 is 12. Carry the 1. 48 plus 1 is 49. That comes pretty close. I'll double check it when I subtract. Right now, 6 times 82, I got 492. Then I subtract 0 take away 2. I cannot do it. I must borrow. 10 take away 2 I can do. That's 8. Now I'm trying to do 1 take away 9, which isn't possible, so I borrow again, and it becomes 11 take away 9, which is 2. Is 28 smaller than 82? Yes, it is. So I'm good to go on and bring down. That's the next step. Now I have to figure out 82 times what comes close to 284. Again, I'm going to use my hint here and say let's do 82 times 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 8 is 24. Just because I have a hint doesn't mean I don't have to do the work. 246 is smaller than 284, so I will put that up and hope that my subtraction is less than the divisor. 246 goes right here. 4 take away 6 can't do it. Borrow from the 8, that becomes 7. 14 take away 6 is 8. 7 take away 4 is 3. Nothing left to bring down. Is it okay to have a remainder that is 38? Well, that's smaller than the divisor, and it matches the choice there. So 63 remainder 38 is my answer. Today, you will be doing page 259. So this is 259 in the math book. Do be sure that you show all of your work, including the multiplication in the photographs. You saw how I kept my multiplication off to the sides. Some of you have been making yourself a separate box so that you don't get mixed up with the multiplication and the division. That is very wise. But you must show, you don't know your 13 times tables, so you'll have to multiply by 13 off to the side. You'll have to multiply times 17, times 11, and times 15. The only one where you might not need to show some work is 11, because you should know your 11 times tables through the 9s. We've discussed that pattern before, and so I won't remind you of that again. Now, one thing the directions here on page 259 say, it says use models. You do not need to do any drawing for me. You just need to divide. Find the quotient. Make sure you are getting the right answer. One thing that we will be talking about this week as far as correct answers is how you can be sure an answer is correct. The way you can be sure an answer is correct is you take the quotient times the divisor. So let's do that to review all of that multiplication, because you'll need to do that as you go along this week. And if you want to be sure your answers today are correct, that is how you should be checking your answers, not putting them in a calculator. You don't need to show this today, but it would be very good practice and possibly worth extra credit. 5 times 6 is 0, carry the 3. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 3, 6, 7, 8. 5 times 3 is 15. Now that I have multiplied everything in the ones place, so I've multiplied 5 times 316, now I need to do 20 times 316. I put the placeholder since I'm at 20, and then I multiply. I'm going to get rid of this carrying first. 2 times 6 is 12, carry a 1 this time. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. There was nothing carried. Now I add these two. 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 3 is 9. 6 plus 1 is 7. 7,900. Well, that doesn't exactly get the divisor up here. That's 7,923. The last step when you're checking with multiplication, you add the remainder. This is also why I don't want you to be putting your remainders as decimals, because you can't check it this way. Nothing in 3 is 3, nothing in 2 is 2, 9 and nothing, 7 and nothing. 7,923 is indeed the divisor. So when you multiply the quotient, zoom out a little bit here, when you multiply the quotient times the divisor and add the remainder, you end up with the dividend. I think I called this the divisor before, didn't I? You end up with the dividend. See, the dividend is here at the end of the multiplication plus the remainder. So what work would you check today? You would do this division. You would then take the quotient times 13, add any remainders, and you should get 117. You would take the quotient times 17, add any remainders, and you should get 136. Quotient times 11, add any remainders, you should get 231. Quotient times 15, add any remainders, and you should get 105. The homework assignment today is to divide these 4 problems, showing all of your work. If you want some extra credit, check these with multiplication. I would need to see all of that on paper for the extra credit.